We're going to start our Adept playthrough this morning after I reached a game-breaking bug the other day in the Rogue Trader beta. It's not a rare one, but it's not an uncommon one either, where if you do things in a certain order, there's an event that won't trigger on the ship. That's supposed to trigger on the ship, but it won't trigger. When you get off the planet at the end of Chapter 1, it's supposed to trigger a series of cutscenes that move you into Chapter 2. But instead of that cutscene, I got this ship uprising, which was supposed to happen earlier in the chapter, and it locked me out. There's a big Reddit thread on it, a bunch of Steam page stuff on it, so I had to restart my character, which is fine for the purposes of R&D and making guides, because it means that instead of doing the marksman, I get to come do the Adept now and learn more about the Adept and clues, because I need to learn more about clues. So what I'll probably end up doing is sometime in the next day or two, I'm going to record my marksman guide, since I have that character already. I've already done that character, and then I'm going to be working on the Adept for the next week or so and learn more about this character, to get a guide out about this character as we get closer and closer to the launch of Rogue Trader Beta. We're going to create a custom character. I do not want to use one of their characters. Let's go with... Nah, that's more of a fighter. That too. That's kind of creepy right there. That's what I used before. I'll stick with that one. I don't mind that. Ooh, excuse me. We need a beard. Yes, majestic beard. That's about more like what I have right now. We'll do that one. Tattoos. I don't really see any, so that's not me working. I think the Death World is the one that has the most features, so we'll just use that one for now. Origin. I need... I mean, really, the only one that's fleshed out a lot is the Commissar, the Vagabond, and the Commander. Is that passive? That's pretty cool if it's passive. Ah, that's weapons. I'll do the Commander because that's a ballistic skill. Ooh, that's nice. I'm thinking it really doesn't matter for the purposes of the beta because these aren't actually finished yet, so... Okay, Psycho. But I do like the outfits. Let's try this, just because I like the way the character looks. It's a really cool outfit. We're gonna go Adept. Alright, now, this is the most important thing. Welcome to the channel, Manuel Silva on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. For anybody who's tuning in this morning, don't forget we are multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Follow where you will. I can only take that to 35. Interesting. Oh, because the Death World has a -5. I see. Well, maybe I want a different. Alright, that's a little better. Willpower and intelligence at 45. That's much better. Physical ailments. Excuse me. I don't care about physical strength. I really don't. Welcome to YouTube, Negan. I think that gives me a pretty rounded character to start. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I can dig it. Alright, character is created. Let's move into the game. Konrad Voitver, an excellent place for contemplation. The man who has approached you is gazing down into the depths of the vast temple on one of the lower decks. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity. All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it's enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify. The man casts an intrigued eye over you. An interesting perspective. However, allow me to offer you a bit of advice. In the interests of your own well-being, you should frame your thoughts with greater piety. Demonstrating such a lack of care when choosing your words might be viewed by certain people as evidence of insufficient trepidation toward the God Emperor, the master of humanity. I do not have a deference for things I do not believe in myself. He studies your face with interest. Your positions won't protect you for long if you continue making such a pronouncement. Know that a fate more compelling and vengeful waits for you than being executed as a heretic. So this is Conrad, Master of Whisperers, in the employ of her lady, rogue trader Theodora von Valancius. Okay. My name is Renfail. He looks up and down with a thin smile. Or should I say Renfail von Valancius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Alright. So I'm a long-lost blood relative. Why have I been brought here? So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader in deeds blessed by the God Emperor. I see that you are shocked. Lady Theodora's authority supersedes that of those whom you obeyed before. Her power is so great that she is capable of performing unthinkable feats, such as changing the fate of a servant of the Empire. Your fate, Imperium Empire. I assume you had some goal in mind when you sought me out? But of course, I've come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has questions for you. The Lord Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valancius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them.
Victory awaits.
A candlelit opera with a copy of the 2348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium.
Annihilate them!
Battle time!
Nothing I can't do. Already done. Nothing I can't do. For the glory of the Imperium!
Bye-bye, creature. I can scarcely believe it. On a day like this, what suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Without taking his eyes off the dead beast, Voigtger removes the Voxcaster from his belt and speaks a few quick orders into the device. He turns to you. I've blocked all passages between the upper and lower decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan. Spread out. No one's allowed to enter the premises. Stations. Alright, he's gonna stay here. I have to go find Lady Theodora.
None shall stand in my way. I'll lay claim to the stars.
That's simple irrational, Lady Theodora, says the man dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension. His face, half of which is covered by synth skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and belief. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically an admission of heresy. The tall, gray-haired woman pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation, no worse than my seneschal would have done. Make a decision. What would you do with Aeon 4, Edelthrad? I'm going to survey the room. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of a parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast, Theodora von Valanctis' features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back, everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Between the two of them, you see two more men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing, who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth, bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons. Our second candidate has joined us. The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. She is staring at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and impressive. Approach. Give me your answer. Alright, we have a hypothetical situation here. Aeon 4. A new world on the fringes of the expanse. High seismic activity. Regular magma eruptions. Metaphoric rock deposits. Native population. Worshipping underworld spirits. Attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. What would you do with this poisoned treasure? I'm going to go with Lore Warp. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening to Aeon 4 is witchcraft or not. Aeon 6, sorry. It might cost several psychers, but it will give us the answers. Thorough, but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one psyker who would serve me well for many years, but you speak of several. Edelthred looks at you with the warmth of a snake. Shanked and psychers are rare and invaluable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you suggest that we use heretics? Rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants. I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand it, was more than you could do, Edelthrad. The color drains from his face. Insolent, ignorant upstart! How dare you! Edelthrad? Theodore's tone renders him silent. I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview. I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I forgot the time. Edelthrad bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look. Why are you here? You sent for me? She scoffs. You have seated the opening that was offered to you and displayed woeful meekness even for one of inferior rank. Admittedly, this affliction is equally strong in all who are injured. The existence in the grip of the Imperium, immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, and expiatory compulsion to please, forget all of that. From the moment my envoys came for you, the old rules ceased to matter. Alright. She's a rogue trader, has a warrant of trade, mine is the honor to venture forth into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's light where the powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all. Every world I discover, and everything therein is mine by right. You, Renfail, are one of those with von Valankia's blood in their veins, and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. There are other heirs, naturally. Edelthred is one of them. Alright, blood right alone is not enough. So apparently Konrad Voigtver was an heir for years before he made a mistake. Fine, I'm ready. Oh, you would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump and have not yet distinguished yourself anyway. As things currently stand, I have doubts you are suitable for the role. If you're satisfied with Edelthred, then why are you wasting your time on me? She shakes her head. Impatience. I'm rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance. Even if I do choose Edelthred as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here in the Cronus Expanse.
I'll see you terminated. Crush him! I took care of this one.
Go, Mort!
Pain and duty go hand in hand. Suits my purposes.
Gonna buff Abelard up. Let's get a clue on these guys.
Nothing I can't do. All too easy. You didn't stand a chance.
This'll leave a scar.
Death to the heretics!
Nice. Alright.
Already done. Opposing me was your biggest mistake. I've suffered worse.
How'd you like this?
God, I like her laser pistol, man. plasma charge is pretty
One
dope.
fewer target.
Alright, Theodore waves her hand in a commanding gesture. Mort, take a team with you and clear the path of the transport line. Don't let a single whoreson survive. As she turns her eyes to you, you didn't bat an eye when the scum burst on the deck. Not bad. I've seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. She looks at the box in her hand. All you can hear is lifeless static. Well, the incident with the beast in the officer's back may be connected to what's transpiring now. Possibly. Quite likely. We'll investigate later. Right now we need to isolate the affected compartments and assess the situation. What are your orders? Mort has gone ahead to clear a path. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the archmilitant requires aid, and be quick about it. Okay.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Quick save! Which way did he go, though?
A new challenge for me? Follow my lead.
I just made a full circle. What the hell? Did he go this way? Ouch.
Victory awaits.
I think that's Mort. Conrad lets out a sigh of relief. Oh, thank Providence you're alive and well. Mort says, always on time, Conrad. The moment we finish chasing riffraff, you show up. Yeah, always just when the fighting's done. You can set your chrono by it. Mort, pull yourself together. The archmilitant looks back at you. Wait. The Lord Captain sent you to shift us along. We're all done here. Report right away. He pulls his Vox out and reports the situation. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? Report. Alright, I've not yet received word from the Engineerium. Communications were unstable half an hour ago, now they've ceased. We've seen scattered reports from the middle decks, and only Voxcasts from the lower decks are one-way heretical gibberish. But the madmen have already reached the officer deck suggests the outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Alright, must provide immediate assistance to those in the middle decks. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure, and I have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. She looks at Voiker. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psycho aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last known thing about his movements was that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18. Blast it. Master of Whisperers, find him immediately. Seneschal, locate class in the Sister of Battle. Archmilitant with me. You, Renfail. She glances at you thoughtfully. Conrad says, if I may, Lord Captain. Transition on deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Ethelthred back, I could use some support. I am not as adept at directly confronting enemies as the House of the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Ethelthred's psychic powers. Morning, Assassin Gamer. Alright, we need to hit the elevator. I shall do everything in my power. Not everything in your power, you will do as I command. Move out. It's a long walk and you don't even have proper gear? Goo. Ha! Lead the way. With a pop and sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen. You're consumed by an unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. I promised you a special destiny, Renfail. It's time to fulfill it. Betrayer!